Breeze, Zabak recommended going over Daniel. He was like, "This is, this is a classic. It's a classic chapter you brothers go over during this time."
Chapter 8.
Yeah,
Facts.
straight like that.
Ain't nobody trying to get no prophecies.
Somebody out there trying to get something.
Man, Amina, Trey, Kazak, Todd, but ain't none of them trying to dive in no prophecies, bro.
Brothers. I claim one. I heard one of them claim they was deep.
No way.
No, I'm bearing false witness. Let me stop playing.
I'm finna hit them up in the chat. I'm gonna tag them. That way they know. Kazak, Amina, you dirty.
He said you dirty. I want to know who that brother is. You look mighty.
Aharon SOJ. You dirty, bro.
That brother look mighty. I'm gonna be in the chat acting like I don't know who that is.
You calling people out.
If somebody's popping off, I'm gonna get in there and.
I don't think it's gonna hit them either, bro. You should definitely do it.
Like, bro, I don't know who Aaron SOJ is. That's not my page. If you're part of the Sons of Jacob, you know that's not my page.
Shalom. Bo Tomlin Jr. Shalom. We got Barrett Kaya. Shalom, gang.
Shalom.
My Shayu.
Y'all brothers stick around. We will be getting into the book of Daniel, chapter 8, dealing with some prophecy shortly. Just bear with us. Let people have time to come in, Melodic tunes. Shalom. My ayo.
Grand Rising. Man. Y'all ain't trying to get no privacy.
I've been trying to deal, man. What you over there eating?
Come on, bro. Come on.
You over eating papaya?
That shit is gross.
He said that shit is gross.
Motherfucker tastes like.
Bro, it tastes like poop.
Tastes like fart.
It's like poop, bro. Like a wet poop. That's what it tastes like.
My rib like it though. She be getting in there. Like, no.
That's gross.
I haven't had no just bomb papaya. I gotta hit these sluggards up.
Right. Yeah, that's actually gross though. I got both the books we're gonna go into open on my
Hot job.
Yeah, so whenever we're ready, I can just share the screen.
All right. Man, who else we got in here? Man? Man, I'm trying to ask questions today. Trying to see where brothers at. We got Trey. Shalom. That's straight from the chat, by the way.
Yeah.
My version.
Shalom, Hebrew daughter.
Shalom. Now we finna get started here in a minute. We finna get into it. Some more Maccabees. Y'all ready for this feast day? 8 days long. I'm off for 2 weeks. It's finna be lit. It's finna be a movie. Man, I don't know.
Yes, sir.
We should try and get that campfire going. That fire pit.
Bro, I've been on that, bro. No, I haven't actually, but I'm ready to.
I'm gonna bring all 3 of my dogs.
Sorry.
All of them.
He said all of them. Hold on, SOJ dropped the mighty precept.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's check it
Brother
out.
in the spirit.
Let's check it out. Psalms 141:10. Did you type this out, brother?
Huh? Who?
Let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst that I withal escape.
That's hot.
I don't get it. I don't get it, bro.
You don't get it?
Mm-mm.
Bro, the wicked gonna fall into their own devices that they set for us. They own traps that they set for us while we escape. King David, mighty. You know what I'm saying? I think that was David. Let me see. Yeah, the Psalm of David. Like I said, I wish I thought of that precept. That was that brother though.
That was Aharon SOJ.
Yeah. Yeah, in the chat. You gotta throw on that DeBarve face.
That's funny. Man, ain't nobody trying to get no prophecies, man. I can feel it. I can feel it, bro.
Man. This may be a long lesson. This may be a short lesson. Because we went over a good portion of it last week. Maccabees 1. Which is kind of pertaining to the latter end a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But man.
Daniel chapter 8, my man.
This is something we normally go over with the congregation all at once, which more than likely we probably will still, but all at once. We don't ever really just break it up. But yeah, it'd be a mighty little class.
Oh, praise. Woo! I'm ready to go.
I'm gonna share my device. This is y'all see where we at? They see where we at?
Daniel chapter 8. Yeah.
Just put a smile on my face. I ain't gonna lie.
Let's get it, dude.
It's hot. So hold on. If I press hide, y'all can still see it. You can still see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, praises, man. Let me pull up Blue Letter just in case we got to get into something. Hold on. Just in case. I just want to be prepared.
Daniel 8.
Daniel 8. Maccabees 1. All right. Khan. Let's get into it. This is Daniel. Salakia. We're going over right now. We're going over why we have a feast day or a celebration known as the Feast of Dedication or Hanukkah. The Ish people call it Hanukkah, right? You've heard of Hanukkah when you're growing up. It always happens around Christmas time. Right? We've heard these things growing up, but we really don't know what it's getting into, really what's going into, so on and so forth. We're going over why we celebrate it, right? What's leading up to it, so on and so forth. So, Daniel chapter 8, verse 1.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, We give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah, God. On you.
Just so you know, whenever I got this screen up, I can't see you. So
Okay.
if you do this or whatever, I'm not gonna be able to see you. You gotta verbally let me know.
All right.
God, Daniel 8:1. In the third year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. So Daniel is living in the Babylonian captivity, right? Let's see what the captivities are in order. You got Egypt, then you got Assyria. I ain't gonna read in a minute. You got Egypt, you got Assyria, then you got Babylon, then you got the Persian and Medes, then you got the Greeks, then you got Rome and America. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Because I remember I had mixed up Assyria with something else last time. But yeah, you got those captivities all in order. Daniel would fall under the third captivity, which is Babylon. And he's under the reign of Belshazzar. Belshazzar in the scriptures is known as Nebuchadnezzar's son, right? Or Nebuchadnezzar's predecessor, right? I believe that's how you say that word. But verse 2, and I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is at the province of Elam, and I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns, and the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. Let me ask you, do you want to read through this and then go back and break it down, or how you want to do it?
And let's break it down as we go.
Let's break it down as we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So, dealing with this ram, or who is that? Yeah, a ram with horns. Just so we know what a horn represents, let me grab a precept.
Are you getting Luke?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll get. I think it's one in Amos. I'm not sure. Let me check.
This is Luke chapter 1 and verse 68. It says, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of David his servant." A horn is going into strength and power, right? That's what it's going into. The strength and power of our salvation is within Yahweh Shai Mashiach. The ram had two horns, or strength, right? Now, let me jump down to verse 15. Well, damn. I mean, might as well. You got a precept real quick before I do this?
I got some understanding. I don't have a precept just yet.
Go ahead.
On an animal, like a ram's strength is in his horns. A rhino, it's a strong animal, but its strength is in his horn. Whenever it dip his head down and attack you, his strength is in his horn. That's just some understanding on that. It's on you.
Kind. Berechiah ben Yehuda Yisrael said, "Don't forget the captivities in Judges." Khan, when we were going over the captivity, what we mean is the major captivities, the ones we've been in for a long time, the ones where we get oppressed severely. The captivities in Judges, there were many small captivities. There are many small captivities even after Judges. So you're right, but whenever we go through that, we just breaking it up into the major captivities, right? To get back to this though, what does this ram represent? Who is this ram, right? I'm gonna keep reading and we'll find out. Verse 4, I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast, it says, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. So this beast, this ram, became great. It pushed west, north, south, east, you name it, right? It was mighty. Nothing could stand before him. Verse 5, and as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. So, mind you, the ram has two horns, but this he goat has one horn. We're going to find out what that means here in a second. Verse 6. And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And as I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his two horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Now I'm gonna jump down to see what these things mean and represent. Just the ram and the he goat, and then we're gonna go back up. Verse 15. And it came to pass, when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision, I sought the meaning. Is this what I'm looking for? I thought it was 15. So like, hold on. Here we go. Verse 20. The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia. That's why they had two horns. One for Media, one for Persia. Right? Verse 21. The rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Who is the first king? Let's read about it. We read about it last week. Mahar, let me know when you want to get in there.
Okay.
Maccabees 1:1. And it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and Medes, and it says that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. What this is going into, what Daniel is talking about, he's talking about Greece or the Greeks versus the Persian and the Medes. Mind you, Daniel is in the Babylonian captivity. Neither one of these people, we still have a lot of stuff to go through. Ezra hasn't appeared yet, right? Zerubbabel, all of it. Daniel is speaking about these things before they even come to pass. This is called prophecy.
It's like you.
Go ahead.
So something to keep in mind. This is a vision that Daniel is receiving, and you got to understand that these things are parabolic. I'm gonna grab a precept real quick. You got to understand that these things are very parabolic. So this is Sirach chapter 13 and verse 26. Sirach chapter 13 verse 26. It says, a cheerful countenance is as a token of a heart that is in prosperity. And here's the point. And the finding out of parables is a wearisome labor of the mind. So this vision that Daniel is receiving is very parabolic. He's talking about animals, the different kinds of animals, the features that these animals have, how this animal takes down this animal. Those are all parabolic. And we're going to give you the actual understanding of this parabolic message. This is Psalms chapter 78 and verse 1. It says, I'll get to the point at verse 2. It says, I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old. So this right here is a dark saying. It's a dark parable. When something is in the dark, you cannot see it. The only way you can see it is if light is shed on it. So we're going to try our best to shed light on this parabolic prophecy. Prophecies are usually parabolic. You're going to see that throughout this chapter, it gives you it's literally a dark sentence. You can't just read this and know what it's talking about. You got to go through the precepts. You got to know history. It got to be revealed. It got to be opened up. So we're going to try our best to give you the understanding and teach y'all what we was taught by our big brothers in the truth, by our elders in the truth. So y'all got to be patient. If y'all got certain questions, ask them. But more importantly, y'all got to really, really listen and key into what we're saying. So this chapter is parabolic. When it's going over these beasts represent kingdoms. These beasts represents kingdom. So the ram that has two horns That is the kingdom of the Persian and Medes. And it makes a lot of sense. The ram is a whole kingdom, but the ram had two horns. The two horns represents power. This ram and this nation, it was divided into two kingdoms. That's why it has two horns. The Persians and the Medes. It was a joint kingdom. I'm going to read the part again and I'm going to elaborate on it again so it stick. Verse, what is it? 3? Verse 3. Daniel 8:3. It says, Then I lifted up mine eyes and I saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns. The ram has two horns. And the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. So in history, we know that the Persian and Medes had a joint kingdom. The prophecy says both of the horns were mighty, both of the horns were long, but when it was all said and done, it tells you that one of the horns were longer or higher than the other. And that's the Persians. Because yes, it was a joint kingdom, the Persians and the Medes. But when it was all said and done, the Persians waxed a little bit more mightier than the Medes. They kind of ran the show. So this is secular history literally being described through prophecy before it ever happened. Before it ever happened. Because this is in the time of the Babylonians, when Israel's land was sacked by Nebuchadnezzar. Right? So he's giving you the breakdown of what's going to happen before all of this even took place. The Persian and Medes going to hit the scene. The Persians going to wax mightier. But then out of nowhere, it tells you that another beast was going to hit the scene. That another beast was going to hit the scene. And the other beast was going to be verse. It's going to be the animal. It's going to be the goat. The goat was going to end up taking down the Persians and Mede. Aharon did a beautiful job of going to this precept, but I'm just repeating it because in order for it to stick in your brain, sometimes you got to hear it more than once. So the ram with the two horns is the Persian and Medes, but then this goat appeared. In the vision, the goat represents the Greeks. How do we know this? We go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1. We go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1. It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip. Now we know who Alexander is. Alexander the Great, so-called. He was really not that great. But Alexander the Great, it says son of Philip. That's who his dad was, Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim and had smitten Darius or Darius, king of the Persians and Medes. So you had Alexander, he came and killed Darius, who was the king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. That makes sense with the prophecy. It makes sense with history. And we're going to go into it in more detail because the chapter gives you more and more details. And we're going to thoroughly prove that this is going over the Persian and Medes and the Greeks. It's going to give you more details. So we can flow from there. I'm ready. I just felt like it was important to give them that foundation to know what's going on and just punch it in their mind so they don't forget.
You good. So when we look at the word Greek or Greece, according to the Hebrew, it translates to Javan or Yavan, right? Because there was not a J, Yavan, according to modern Hebrew, which means Iona or Greece, a son of Japheth and grandson of Noah, right? So this is where a lot of people get that idea that Esau or the white man is a Japhite, not knowing previous history of Esau actually going in and conquering Japhetic lands and taking over their name Greece, Greek, right? They became Greeks. They took over the land, just how they took over just how they took over our land and became Jews, right? Just how they took over hell, they weren't even originally in Mount Seir. I think they conquered Mount Seir from somebody else. They're always conquering a people and taking their name, right? That's all that's going on. Don't get caught up in that the white man is Japheth or whatever the hell people teaching nowadays, right? So let's go back up. Let's go back up and let's continue to read. I'm gonna read at I'm gonna start up a little bit. Verse 5. I know we already read it, but I'm reading verse 5 again. It says, and as I was considering, behold, an he goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground, and the he goat had a notable horn between his eyes. What does it mean he touched not the ground? It means he was conquering so fast, he was moving so fast, it was like he didn't touch the ground, right? It wasn't time to think. This is how much Alexander had conquered the known world very quickly.
12
Very
years.
quickly. You said something?
12 years.
12 years. To conquer a world in 12 years, that's fast.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
In war, just conquering one province, conquering one place, it can take you 12 years. It can take you that long to win one war. But he was destroying everybody. So like I just wanted to say that.
Nah, you straight. Hey, when we look it up, check this out. It says a great conqueror. So like, let me make sure this is talking about him. All right, it says a great conqueror in 13 short years, right? The reason why we said 12 or 13, you get an approximate. You're not going to get a for sure number on these kind of things. Somebody else may say 11. Somebody else somebody else may say 14. It's an approximate, right? You're not going to actually know. But the fact that it says in 13 short years, he amassed the largest empire in the entire ancient world, and an empire that covered 3,000 miles. You don't conquer the ancient world. You don't conquer 3,000 miles.
It say 3,000 miles.
Let me see. That's what it say. And an empire that covered 3,000 miles. UShistory.org.
All right.
You don't conquer all that in a short amount of time. It's not how it works. You don't just conquer that. You got to fight people, right? You have to set up battle. This is why it says that he touched not the ground. But what's up? Did you have a shit? Do you got a number on it? The miles or whatever?
No. I was just trying to see. I was like 3,000, that seems small. I thought it was gonna say 300,000.
I mean,
I ain't sweating it though.
I don't know. Let me see. I want to see how far it would take from here to. Let me just type in California, right? From here to California is 1,000 miles.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm underestimating it.
He said, "Oh, okay, yeah, this is 3,000. That's a. We finna pull up the map here in a minute because it's finna go into it." Verse 6. It says, "And he came to the ram that had two horns, the Persian Medes, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his two horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he goat waxed very great, and he was very strong. The great horn was broken, for it came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven." What is this going into? It says, "For it came up four notable ones towards the four winds of heaven."
Con. That's
What is it?
important.
It's very important. Let me get ready. The Diadochi or the Diadochi. Some people like to pronounce it, right? Let's keep reading on here. Verse 2, First Maccabees 1 and 2, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years, and then he died, right? So the Diadochi or Diadochi. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say about this. The Diadochi, singular, diadokus from Greek, successors. That's what it means. Successors were the rival generals, families, and friends of Alexander the Great who fought for control over his empire after his death. The wars of the Diadochi marked the beginning of the Hellenistic period. We're going to get into that, from the Mediterranean Sea to the Indus River Valley. The most notable Diadochi include Ptolemy, Anti, Antigonus. Who do we know him as? Lysimachus. We know him as Lysimachus, right? Here you go, right here. Lysimachus. We know him as Lysomachus. That's why it's hard for me to get that name, right? Ptolemy, this guy, or Lysimachus, Cassander, and Seleucus. We're going to read in the scriptures mostly about Seleucus Empire and Ptolemy Empire, right? It says, as the last remaining at the end of the wars of the successors ruling in Egypt, Asia Minor, Macedon, and Persia, respectively, all forging dynasties lasting several centuries. Now, we just named off 4 successors: Ptolemy, Lysimachus, Cassander, and Seleucus. When we go back to Daniel chapter 8, it says, let's see, where am I at? Come on, where am I at? Here we go. Verse 8. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great and was strong. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken. Alexander dies. For it came up 4 notable ones. What does that mean? 4 notable horns that we just read. Lysimachus. Let me just go back to it. Let's read in order. Ptolemy, Lysimachus or Antigonus, Cassander, and Seleucus. Right? Those are the 4 notable horns that came up after Alexander the Great, which are known as the Diadochi. Like I said, I could be pronouncing this wrong. Ask somebody who knows the Greek. I don't profess to know the Greek, right? But this is how detailed the Bible gets into it. This is how detailed Daniel's vision was. Mind you, Daniel was 100-something years before the Greeks even popped up. Persian and Medes haven't even hit the scene yet. He's still in Babylon and he's receiving this vision. Imagine that. He's still in Babylon and he receives this vision about how there will be 4 successors after Alexander the Great.
So
right? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna get it in Maccabees because the Maccabees is gonna give you the same understanding. So,
Hey, Salak, real quick. I'm sorry. I just read a comment. Barack Apparel said, when you don't have a car, 3,000 miles is a great distance. You're right. Salak, that's funny.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 5. It says, and after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. So Alexander the Great, he perceived that he was fit to die. It says, wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth. So he grabbed his buddies and his honorable brothers who've been brought up with him since he was a young child. It says, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So he gave his kingdom to his generals and his friends, and he parted it out to them. It says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. It says Alexander reigned 12 years and then he was gone. It says, and his servants bear rule, everyone in his place. That's why you got Lysimachus, Cassander, Ptolemy, and Seleucus. The kingdom was parted to them guys. Now then, we can jump back into Daniel. I just wanted to get that out in Maccabees.
Con, you good. I see why you said 12 years. I see why you said 12 years, because the scriptures say 12 years, right?
Yep.
We dealing with the scriptures. Salakia. When everything is just white like this, I forget where I be at. But verse 9.
That's racist, bro.
Hey, brother.
Hey, quick joke. Quick joke. Aharon told me this story about his dad. Oh man, he said, you can tell the story out. You know it better than me.
Bro, hold on. I'll tell you a lot of stories, bro. Which one are you talking about?
With the Ritz.
Ah.
With saltines.
I was in this when I was younger. And I was chilling in the house. And my daddy was like, he called me Little Bit. He was like, Little Bit, hand me them white people. I was like,
I said, blow my nose. That shit is funny.
I said, what? He said, hand me the white people. I said, what? He said, them crackers. This is when I was younger. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? That was funny. That was hilarious. I'm gonna wait till Mahar and get back. Yeah, that's funny. Let me see. I'm gonna type up the map.
Oh snap! That was good.
Yeah, that was great.
All right.
That was real good.
I'll be back. A little bit. Hand me those white people.
White people.
The white folks. That's good. That's good, right there.
He said that's good.
I wasn't like I knew the joke, but it hit me hard still.
Oh shoot! Hold on. Nah, I ain't finna fool with that. I think this might. I'm trying to find a good clear map that I ain't gotta, just be weird about. All right. Well, look like I'm just got to be weird about it. But get back to Daniel. Verse 9. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great towards the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. This is when we go to the map and figure out, okay, who waxed towards the pleasant land, right? Let's see if I can find it. See, man, these maps be blurry, man.
It says, and out of one of them, the them is the four generals that Alexander parted his kingdom to. Out of them was going to come forth a little horn, and that little horn was going to wax exceeding great toward the south, toward the east, and toward the pleasant land.
Bam. All right. This was a little bit more clear. But you see, this area over here, Egypt, this is Ptolemy's land. This is the Ptolemaic dynasty's area. This area, this whole area right here, is the Seleucid dynasty or the Seleucid Empire. You see, Jerusalem is under not Ptolemy, the Seleucid dynasty. So it says out of one of them, Shalakia, it says it shall come out out of one of them shall come forth a little horn. So it's going to be another power, right? That's going to come out of one of the four Diadochi, out of one of their dynasties. Now let's go back to First Maccabees and let's read verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So passed down from generation to generation, evils are now being multiplied under these Edomites. Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. This is the wicked root. This is the guy that came out. This is the little horn that came out and waxed toward the pleasant land, toward Jerusalem. Right? Let's keep reading in Daniel chapter 8. Mahar, do you have anything?
Blah.
Okay. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground and stamped upon them. What is this talking about? This is talking about our people. This is casting down our people. Right? We read a lot about what Antiochus did, which we're still going to get into. Right? Verse 11. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of hosts, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and in the place of the sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. So now we go back to First Maccabees, because we read about this. We read about this last week about how Antiochus defiled the sanctuary and defiled our temple, even so much that if anybody went up to the temple, he would kill him. Boom! He took away the daily sacrifice. First Maccabees 1:44. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, and set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beast. Right? Even if you just type in Antiochus, right? If you type in Antiochus, boom, what is he known for? This is what he's literally known for. Captured Jerusalem in 167 BC and desecrated the temple by offering the sacrifice of a pig on an altar to Zeus, the abomination of desolation. This is literally what Antiochus is known for. His wickedness, right? It says that he magnified himself. I want y'all to remember, he magnified himself, right? We're going to touch on what that means here in a little bit, or a little bit.
I really want to get into how he dies.
I know.
Drop everything.
What? He said drop everything.
Drop all your precepts. Let's get to it.
Brother. Daniel getting into it. He getting right to it.
I'm trying to get to how he died.
Daniel getting right to it. I know. All right. Let's just read a little quicker. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get there because it's crazy.
Bro, we're not going to be able to get there today, bro. There's no way.
Bro, it's 10:47, brother. We got it.
Bro, we're just going to have to do it another day, man.
You going off. Verse 13. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto the certain saint which spake, how long shall the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation? So like, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Right? It's given a set amount of number. Verse 15. And it came to pass, when I, even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. Now, Daniel just got the vision. He didn't get the breakdown that y'all getting. Daniel didn't, he wasn't in his dream, and this is like, oh man, it's got to be Alexander. Oh man, all he's seeing is a he goat took down a ram, get the moving. Then all of a sudden, the sanctuary is being cast down. The daily sacrifice is gone. None of this is making sense. None of this is lining up to Daniel, right? It's like a weird dream, right? Keep going. Verse 16. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision.
Yeah.
So he came to me. If you don't know who Gabriel is, he's an angel. So he came near me. It's like it. And he came near when I stood. And when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall the vision be. At the time of the end shall the vision be. This is not going into the end of the world. This is going into the end of a dynasty, right? The Persian and Medes end, right? A lot of people, when they see the end, that's when they, oh, the world is going to be over. No, it's not what it means all the time, right? Esau's kingdom is finna end. It's finna be the end of the world. But we know it's still going to be a hereafter, right? Verse 18. Now, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face towards the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee to know what shall be in the last end of the indignation. For at the time appointed, the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest, having two horns, are the kings of Media and Persia. And the rough he-goat, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. So Gabriel is giving him the understanding of the vision. Verse 22. Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, the Diadochi or the Diadochi, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. So 4 kingdoms, 4 nations are going to stand, or 4 kingdoms are going to stand up from that nation of Grecia, but not in his power, not in the same power as Alexander, right? Why? Because they're all divided. They fought against each other. Alexander took over everything under him, and it was unity. When he died, it got divided up. It's no longer the same strength. Verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. This is Antiochus Epiphanes, right? Antiochus Epiphanes, who we read about in First Maccabees chapter 1. He's sprinkled in there a lot in Maccabees, right? Because there are different kings in Maccabees, but he's sprinkled in there a lot. Verse 24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Just like last week, all this chapter, Daniel 8, is going into everything that we read last week. Literally everything, right? So that's why we read it last week. So you can have the understanding on what's going on in Daniel chapter 8. Because he destroyed everything. He took the book of the law, burned that, sacked our temple, made our temple abominable, made our people abominable, so on and so forth. Martin, did you have a point?
Man, he was strangling our babies.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying, Maccabees. He was strangling infants, hanging them, killing the mothers, all because the children was circumcised. He was doing all kind of crazy stuff. He was sacrificing swine's flesh to Zeus on the Most High God's temple. On the Most High God's temple, he was doing that. I'm gonna grab that precept in Maccabees real quick. Let me see if I still remember that one. Let me see. I think it's Second Maccabees.
What you looking for?
Let me check real quick. I think I'm here. Go to Second Maccabees 6:2. I wonder what it's gonna say in GNT.
This is not the GNT.
I know.
Oh, okay, cool.
Can you read that though?
Yeah, this is 2 Maccabees 6:2. And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the palace.
Now check this out, y'all. I must steal the screen share.
Okay, God.
Don't persecute me. Second Maccabees 6:2 in the GNT. It says he was also Salakia. He was also to defile their temple by dedicating it to the Olympian god Zeus. The temple on Mount Gerizim was to be officially named the temple of Zeus, the god of hospitality, as the people who lived there requested. So this is kind of what they was going into. They was trying to make us sacrifice to Zeus. I kind of got extra stuff up there, don't I? But that's what I was just bringing that out in the scriptures. I'm gonna switch over to your screen.
Con, let me know when it's on me.
It's on you.
Con, just so no confusion is here. Zeus in ancient Greek religion, chief deity of the pantheon of sky and weather god, who is identical with the Roman god Jupiter. The Romans regarded Jupiter as the equivalent of the Greek Zeus. So basically, the Romans stole Zeus and renamed him Jupiter. Just so there's no confusion. So let's get back to it. Verse 25, Daniel 8:25. And through his policy, through all his commandments, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. Remember, he magnified himself. And by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, Israel, but he shall be broken without hand. Now, let's see. What does it mean? Oh, shoot. Salakia. I'm trying to get to First Maccabees. What does it mean that he shall, it says, and by peace shall destroy many? Let's get the quick precept. First Maccabees 1:30. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. Daniel is getting the line upon line understanding, right? Verse 26, and the vision of the evening and the morning, which was told, is true. Wherefore shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted. It's like, and I, Daniel, fainted and was sick certain days. Afterward, I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. So that is the end of the vision, but there's still more to be going into. It says Antiochus shall be broken without hand. What does that mean? Broken without hand. We're going to get it. You said Second Maccabees chapter 9 is what it is, yeah?
So like you said again?
Second Maccabees chapter 9 is where it's at, yeah?
Yeah.
I think it's another chapter too where they're going to it, but it's like this chapter just hot.
This chapter is hot. This is where the fun come in. Hold on. We got to recap real quick, guys. Hold on. I got to finish writing this precept real quick. I'm live for Dasa. Okay, I think she's doing her thing. Okay, so look, real quick, before we get into the fun stuff, we got to recap. I'm almost going to do a Q&A because I feel like the material that we went over and how we went over it, people could have missed a lot of key points. I'm gonna ask a very basic question. So we're gonna start from there. What two books was we primarily using today? Let's start there. To get the understanding, what two books was we primarily using? Everybody don't learn at the same speed. Everybody don't learn the same way. So we gotta get in there like this sometimes. What two books was we using to get the understanding today? So y'all was being wicked.
He says, so y'all being wicked.
I was being wicked. I get it. We finna get into fun stuff, man. Khan, Berekaya, Khan. Hebrew daughter, of course you got it. You know, you be on fire. That's Elder right there. She's more diligent than some of the men out here. Okay. The two main things. He said, I'm being wicked. I really don't know. Khan, the two main things. Y'all don't gotta remember every precept that we pulled out. You're not going to remember every precept that we pulled out. We could have pulled out more precepts, but this breakdown to remember it is going to take you multiple times hearing it. Daniel chapter 8 and First Maccabees chapter 1 is the two main tools that you're going to need to understand the prophecy in Daniel chapter 8. You're going to need that. Not only that, you're going to need to know secular history. You're going to need to know that the Persian and Medes were overtaken by the Greeks. You're going to need to know that. You're going to need to know that the Persian and Medes are a joint kingdom. And that joint kingdom, the Persian and Medes were kind of on top. They was more mightier than the Medes. But even still, the Greeks came through and conquered them. You're going to need to know that. The next key point, you're going to need to know, if you want to be able to break down this chapter and teach it to your family or teach it to another brother, you're going to need to know that Alexander, on his deathbed, he parted his kingdom to 4 men. To 4 men. That's why you kept hearing Aharon say the Diadochi, because that's what they're known as. The 4 men, if you want to be studious, you can remember these. You can write them down, or you can look it up, and when you get your time, you can go back over. You got Seleucus, and he's one of the main ones. You got Ptolemy. He's one of the main ones. Then you got Lysimachus, and then you got Cassander. So Seleucus, Ptolemy, Lysimachus, Cassander. You got to know that his kingdom, Alexander divided his kingdom into 4 main parts. But throughout all of those, the most prosperous one was Seleucus. Out of Seleucus came Antiochus. And Antiochus is the one who massacred our people, who hanged our infants because they were circumcised, who beat our women, raped and murdered our women because they were trying to circumcise their sons, who made us sacrifice swine's flesh on the Most High God's altar in the name of another God, who destroyed all of our books of the law, ripped them, shredded them, and then burned them. That's what it tells you in First Maccabees 1. We read this last Saturday before camp. He was trying to make it a one world government. This is Antiochus. This is everything he did. It said when Antiochus hit the scene, wickedness increased. I'm going to grab that real quick. You got to understand how wicked this man was. He was very prideful. He was very wicked. And he had a perpetual hatred against the Israelites for no reason. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome and reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So he, in the scriptures, it says he was a wicked man. Y'all got to understand, if you want to see how wicked he was, you can read the first chapter of First Maccabees and get that. He did other wicked stuff, but if you just read this first chapter, if you missed it Saturday, man, I'm telling you, we got Feast of Dedication. There's no reason why you should not be reading Maccabees. How you gonna celebrate this feast day and not read this at all? It's not. You're not gonna be in the right spirit. You're not gonna understand the gravity of this feast day. He destroyed our temple. He profaned our temple. He was mocking and scoffing the high priest. I believe he promised them death, if I'm not mistaken. The high priest. You know who the high priests are? The high priest is like the gods on earth. This man was so wicked. He came to us and spoke peaceably, then turned around and destroyed us. He came and made war with us on the Sabbath. And he knew it was a rest day. He knew our customs. I'm trying to put you on the mindset before we go read Second Maccabees chapter 9. I almost want to save it. Like they gotta see more, more stuff that he did and how wicked this man is. Bro, I can't even tell you.
You want to save Maccabees 9 and 9? I mean, Second Maccabees 9?
I'm thinking about it, bro, because they gotta.
It's still more we can go into. I'm not tripping.
They gotta understand how wicked this guy was. Yes, like you said, it's important to know what and why you're celebrating. That's why we're gonna turn up. We're gonna turn up for the Most High. We're gonna turn up for the Most High. But you gotta know all of the. I'm gonna grab this. Check this out.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to because it's still a lot more to go into.
It is. Is there something else you got in particular?
You got Simon and him you got Simon in Sirach, because Simon is chiefly why we rededicated the temple. You know, he's the main guy, the main guy that led us into that. Other than his brothers and his father, you know, we still got to talk about them. There's a lot of things we can go into. But I think I want to go into whenever we break down that Maccabees 9, after we break that down, I want to go into Simon and go into how he dedicated the temple. And then during the feast day, we talk about his brothers, we talk about all of that type
the
deal.
Glorious battles that he won.
Yeah.
So what should we do right now? What you thinking?
I mean, that was enough today.
Yeah, it's really no rush, because you know that's actually mighty. That's actually mighty. What we did was go into Daniel chapter 8, show you how Daniel chapter 8, that whole prophecy and vision that Daniel had, it tells you in detail what it is in Maccabees.
Yeah, I mean, because to us it probably may not feel like a lot.
It does. Yeah, we broke that. But look, I want everybody to do this on the live. I want everybody to do this on the live. Open up your Bible. If you don't have your Bible in front of you, open up your Bible app. Open up your Bible app, or put a note in your phone. You're gonna need this. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You're gonna need this. Especially if you're a man and you want to go teach your people at some point. At some point, you're going to need this. Go to Daniel chapter 8. It's okay to mark up your Bible. It's okay to write in your Bible. Right at the top of the chapter, put First Maccabees chapter 1. You can put this in your notes. You can put this in your Bible. You can do this whatever, because at some point you're going to need to know this. If you want to be able to understand this prophecy, this vision that Daniel got, you need the tools. And the main tool you're going to need, this is why they took out the Apocrypha. This is why they took out the Apocrypha. So you won't be able to understand things like this. This is not a small thing. This is a mighty prophecy. Any people who are not in the truth, they know they don't have, they're clueless to Maccabees. They're clueless. I got you, Trey. Go to Daniel chapter 8. At the top of the chapter, you know, however you want to, whatever's going to help you remember that you need First Maccabees chapter 1. You need the chapter. Daniel chapter 8 is going over that. All we did when we was breaking down Daniel chapter 8, we showed you a little bit of history, but all we did was pull precepts from First Maccabees chapter 1. We didn't go anywhere else. We probably pulled one or two other precepts.
We tried to make this as simple as possible.
So now I'm breaking it down even simpler. If you didn't grasp everything that we brought out today, I'm giving you the tools so later when you need it, you'll be able to access the information. If you want to understand Daniel chapter 8, you need First Maccabees chapter 1. Right? You need First Maccabees chapter 1. If you want to understand the letters, this is going to help you understand the whole Bible better. It's going to help you understand the New Testament better. I kid you not. Am I bullshitting?
Nope.
We giving you a key. It's a master key. You're going to be able to open a lot of doors with this one key. But you got to understand the gravity and how serious this prophecy is, because when you read in the Bible and you don't have the Apocrypha, you don't have the Maccabees, you're not going to understand the Greek captivity. You're not going to have any information on it. You got Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 8. But after that, there's not really a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it. But you see Paul always saying there's neither Jew nor Greek. There's neither bond nor free. If you don't have a good understanding of the Greek captivity, if you don't have a decent understanding of Maccabees, if you don't have a good understanding of why you're celebrating Feast of Dedication, I'm telling you, you need this understanding. You need these tools. You might not need them now. You might not have to teach nobody now. You might not even have a good understanding right now. But I'm telling you, it's like clockwork. You're going to need this at some point. Don't neglect it. Don't be lazy. First Maccabees is good with Daniel chapter 8. If you want to understand Daniel chapter 8, the vision, you need First Maccabees. You need Second Maccabees. But right now, just put First Maccabees chapter 1. I'm telling you, that's the tool you need. If y'all didn't get it now, it's on y'all. I did my part. I did my part. But we got 8 days to get it in. Man, we're gonna be talking about Maccabees a lot. We're gonna be diving into some of these chapters. We dove into Daniel today. All praises to the Most High. If there's a question in particular that y'all have, y'all can drop it in the chat. We really finna jump off, so you can write it down, and next time y'all see us go live, y'all can drop it in the chat. That's all I got.
Like we said last week, Lord willing, we set up something during those 8 days of the feast that we can try to tap in with y'all. If we, maybe if we don't go live a whole hour, maybe live for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, something where we just tapped in and talking about the Maccabees and going over the Feast of Dedication, because that's what it's for. It's a memorial. It's a memorial for a reason. It's a remembrance for a reason, right? Even the Messiah kept it. So Lord willing, we can get something tapped in, or we can do that, right? Majority of me and Mahar's classes are more than likely going to be going over Maccabees in the near season, in the near future, right? Unless we do a Q&A or something. But yeah, You know, you want to be in the spirit of the Maccabees. It's the winter time. This is what it's going into, right? So I'm gonna grab my closing precepts. Grab my closing. Well, I got one closing precept. I forgot. This through the spirit, right? I think I'm gonna add another precept to it because I
Bro, why
normally
do I
got two
always
precepts.
forget to get Thessalonians though?
Hmm?
Why do I always forget Thessalonians?
I don't know.
That's madness. I guess
So
I can grab.
I normally got two precepts, so I'm gonna add one precept to this. Melodic tunes. I appreciate you brothers in your entire camp for the work, teaching lessons. Right. All praise to the Most High. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is Second Corinthians. No, no, I wanted 5:18. 2 Corinthians 5:18. It says, "And all things are of God, which hath reconciled us to Himself by Yahushua Mashiach, and hath given to us the ministry of reconciliation." Berechiah ben Yehuda Yisrael. How do I tune into the meditation station? Is it online? No, the meditation station is it's a Facebook group chat that we have that brothers, can call in. You can talk to brothers all day long, depending on brothers' spirits, Me and Mahar being there sometimes, Mahar being there more than I do. Um, hit up Mahar on Facebook Messenger, and he can more than likely get you into it. It's a thing created by me and Mahar. Basically, the name of it, meditation station. You want to get in there, meditate on the Most High God, get in there, talk about news, whatever. You can talk about anything. We like to keep it, of course, Bible based, of course. You know, sometimes we go in there and we do breakdowns, you name it, any time of the day. But it's just one of those. Um, the other precept I want to add is
Real
Romans
quick,
8:1.
real quick.
Go ahead.
I see what you did.
You see what
Hey,
I did?
Berechiah, if you for real about that, tell me your name on there because sometimes people add me, and if I'm not ready for it, I won't. If you got, is your name Berechiah on Facebook? If it is, no worries. If it's not, tell me your name so I can accept your friend request and be looking out for you.
His name on
All right,
Facebook, Swaggy Berechiah.
right. You're gonna be
Swaggy Judah.
right. Yeah, right. Something crazy. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna know. But it's on you, Ahram.
God,
You crazy with these precepts, man.
God. Romans 8:1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. For the law of the spirit of life in Christ, Yahushua hath made me free from the law of sin and death. There's no condemnation in Christ. You know what I'm saying? We'll tap in with that later. Go ahead, Ike.
So this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 19. It says, quench not the spirit. So we got a whole day ahead of us, or at least we do where we at. It's only 11:17 a.m. Quench not the spirit. If your spirit tell you to go this way, go that way. If your spirit tell you to go left, go left. If your spirit tell you to go help that brother, go help that brother. If the spirit jump on you like ties, like the spirit jump on ties, and you in line at the checkout, and the spirit jump on you, tell that brother here Israelite and break them off with a few precepts. Quench not the spirit. Go ahead, Ahram.
Disclaimer: if the spirit is telling you to do wickedness, that's an evil spirit. Don't do it. Just a disclaimer. Go ahead, Ike.
Disclaimer. Khan.
Cadet kid came in here with some smoke.
Why you come in at the end of the, and next time we go live, we're gonna pull you up and we can talk about it.
Right.
Hey, Cadet kid, you okay with that? You wanna debate? We don't get a lot of smoke, bro. We so cool and chill, but if you want smoke, you want to come in here and drop nasty comments, everyone can be saved. That's an abomination. We don't believe that.
Yeah.
Hey, read Matthew 1:21.
Right.
Go read that and dagger yourself. Have a good day. Anyways, Sirach chapter 43 and 30. It says, when you glorify the Lord, exalt him, as much as he can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when you exalt him, put forth all your strength and be not weary, because you can never go far enough. With that, hey, quench not the spirit. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Shalom.
Shalom.